Hey everybody, Henry Louis Goulet here from the Messianic Studies Institute. I am delighted to have as my guest today Ellie Wiener coming to you from the UK, and we're going to start by asking Ellie to tell us a little bit about herself.
Sure. Yes. Thanks, Henry. What should you know about me? I suppose you should know that I'm a lover and student of the Bible and follower of Yeshua the Messiah. Why am I in the UK? Well, I tend to think of my life as something of an eastward trajectory.
Nice.
So you can tell from my disappointing accent that I'm not British. Unfortunately, don't have that cool voice. I grew up in the Midwest, so grew up in the Chicago area, and then I did my undergrad and master's work north of Boston, a little further east, and then hopped the pond to work on my PhD here at Cambridge in the UK.
That's
Is
fantastic.
there anything else in particular? Yeah. Okay, we'll stop there for now.
Yeah, and then I think tell us, how did you land on the book of Job? How'd you end up engaging the book of Job? And this, somewhat remarkable to most people, how did you end up memorizing it in Hebrew?
Yeah. Oh, both good questions. Neither are necessarily intuitive. So I tend to elicit some sympathetic looks from people when I tell them that I've been engaging in a 3-year wrestling match with the Book of Job, for
Nice.
anyone who has some familiarity with the book. And to be honest, Henry, when I began my PhD, I would describe myself as something of a reluctant student of the Book of Job.
Mm.
As in, I was fully responsible for submitting a proposal pertaining to the book of Job, though I was coming in with, I would say, relatively low levels of clarity and excitement, really, to be grappling with this text because it's just so hard
Mm.
on basically every level, lexically, syntactically, structurally, theologically, really complex text, and I had really no idea what to do with it. But early on, I decided, you know what? I need to reposture my heart before the Lord, actually, if I'm going to engage in this task. I think my level of intimidation was largely associated with this implicit assumption that in doing a PhD, I needed to kind of master the text. I needed to kind of get on top of it and get it, yeah, sufficiently under me so that I could put it in a package and feel like I've done it. And I thought, oh, Lord, please forgive me. That posture is entirely wrong.
Very good.
Actually, I don't want to master the text. I want to be mastered by you through my engagement with the text.
Excellent.
And so please just make me your student, Lord, and teach me. And that completely reoriented my approach to this period of study. And in my first year of the PhD, I thought, okay, I'm going to be immersed in so much secondary literature, so many opinions about what Job is saying and how it works. And chiefly, I want to listen to God's voice. Yes, I want to be engaging in scholarly discourse. I want to be challenged by others' perspectives on the book, but I want to be listening firstly, to the text itself. And I want to be praying my way through this. And I actually want my engagement with the book to feel appropriately hard. And so I wanted to kind of work at the ground level. So I thought, okay, great. I'll just read the book in Hebrew a bunch of times. I'll create kind of a regimen for doing that. And then I was maybe a month and a half into the PhD. And someone suggested to me, well, you could just memorize it instead. And I, in that moment, thought, A, that's ridiculous. B, I'm absolutely doing it. um, I knew that was kind of the to the nth degree how I could stay steeped in the text and take the text seriously. That was kind of the maximal way to do it.
Excellent.
And yeah, I had no idea what that would actually require, how long that would take, what strategies to use. But I just thought, you know what, human brains are capable of doing this sort of thing. And it's really just going to come down to, as I found, discipline plus enthusiasm. So you need to be,
Excellent.
yeah, constrained by discipline while being catalyzed by enthusiasm. And then actually, yeah, it comes in time. So it was, I call it like an embodied doctrine of scripture experiment. So, like, okay, I don't know what to do with Job. What happens if I just put it inside of me, pray, and then see what the Lord makes of it? So I did it more for spiritual formation reasons. And sure enough, it's turned out to be fairly academically uh, helpful as well to have internalized the text in that way.
We uh,
Yeah, but
we
that's a bit of
we
context.
we love this approach.
Ah,
Enthusiasm, with discipline, excellent, makes you a kindred spirit. Um,
Mm,
we talk about that work that was written about Paul being Deuteronomy in the flesh, so we understand embodied scripture. And
mm,
so we're beyond excited to have you on the MSI faculty. And so now, starting April 21st, can you tell us a little bit about your course on Job? It's very interestingly called Gritty God-Fearing, Whatever Comes.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I've tried to intimate in that title that what we're going to be after together ultimately is, what is Job for? Yes, we want to understand the contents of the book and how it works structurally. Ultimately, with the tell us, with the end, the aim of understanding something of why this book should be in the scriptures. Why has God given it to us? I remember growing up that I had this general perception, and I think it's shared by many, that the book of Job basically has like a suffering tag on it, and you just sort of put it on the shelf until the moment when you feel you're suffering in a particularly severe way. Except the problem is, if anyone ever decides to pull that down during a time of acute suffering, you open it up and it's far from straightforward. And the more time I've spent in Job, the more I thought, no, this is actually catechetical. This is formative. This is teaching as something in our posture, what it means to be a God-fearer and how to actually sustain a God-fearing posture in the context of a world that is just filled with inexplicable pain and unanswered questions. All
That's
of us
great.
will grapple with that in so many forms over the course of our lifetimes. And I just have more and more come to see, wow, God, you have been so gracious in giving us this, yeah, this treasure, this resource in the scriptures. And so, yeah, we're going to essentially take a Jobin journey. So there'll be some orientation at the outset. What are some foundational questions and awarenesses to have before us as we begin our Jobin journey? And then we're going to start marching through the book, basically by literary segment, and culminating or ending with a discussion of the book of Job in relation to Yeshua the Messiah, and really kind of like the whole sweep of the biblical story. So yes, I've found it just to be so soul nourishing,
Beautiful.
and really challenging in my own engagement. So I hope for students it's the same.
All right, so I want to welcome everybody to join Ellie in her Job course beginning April 21st. It's going to be offered from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., which is a very unique time that we're offering a course. If you can't be with us live online, it's being recorded so you can watch later. So Ellie and I hope to see you there.